Right, so in my previous video I bought 3 cars off of one car collector, and they're all very nice cars, but one of them you didn't actually know about because I saved it for this video. You probably know what it is right now because you might have seen it in the thumbnail, but one of them was a V8 Saloon BMW M3. Nice thing that is, low mileage, blah blah blah. You've seen that on my channel before, so I won't talk too much about that. The second one was this E36 AMG, which is conveniently running right now. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate video on that car actually. But then the third and final one was this thing here, which is also conveniently running. It's an E36 M3 Saloon. Doesn't it look so good? A 1996 E36 M3 Evolution Saloon. What a car. So like I said, this is the third car I bought of the bunch. I bought the E90 M3, which is over there somewhere, the C63 AMG, and then this. And they're all lovely cars, they're all really special, but this in particular was something that I was really excited about because I'm a BMW, I love BMWs. I have had an E36 M3 before. It was an Estral Blue coupe. It was years before I started YouTube, and I did like it a lot. If I'm honest, they're probably my least favourite M3 of all times, and I would say that's justified, and I'll point out the reasons why I think that as the video unfolds. But it goes without saying, man, this is a very, very good looking car. So they were made from 1992 to about 1999, I think, and then in 1995, 96, they facelifted them. So the earlier cars were a 3 litre naturally aspirated straight 6 engine, 286 brake horsepower. This car here is an Evolution car, so the facelifts were called an Evolution. They're a 3.2 litre naturally aspirated straight 6 engine as well, but it had about 40 more horsepower. This has got 321 brake horsepower. They've done a great job of the facelift. They actually made a hell of a lot of changes. They were offered with different wheels, clear indicators front and rear. These mirrors, they come on all E36 M3s. Nice feature they were, yeah, clear lenses at the rear, and the diffuser at the bottom there was also a feature on all E36 M3s. As we come on the insides, yeah, look at this car. It is absolutely mint. Like, look at them carpets. How mint this car is. Look at them seats. Oh. It is a joke. The wear on the gear stick. The reason why, by the way, it's got hasn't got much wear on it even, is because look, it's done 47,000 miles. It was dry stored for 12 years. It didn't move, didn't turn a wheel for a whole 12 years of its life, and you can see that, yeah, it shows it, doesn't it? It is bloody mint. So what else do I want to talk about? Let's hop under the bonnet. Let's quickly show you under there. It's a very similar looking engine to the S54. So this is an S50 lump. The S54 is the lump that's in the E46 M3s. The E46 M3s have got 343 brake horsepower, and like I say, these were 321 brake horsepower. But you can see it resembles in many ways the S54 lump. I think the main difference, or one of the differences, were this is a single Vanos unit and the S54 is a dual Vanos unit. Don't quote me on that because I ain't got a bloody clue. The wonderful thing about having a YouTube channel is people comment, so feel free to have a conversation about the main differences between them two engines. So what we'll do now is yeah, should we go for a little drive? By the way, 6-speed manual gearbox. They were offered as an SMG on the facelift Evolution cars as well. The pre-facelift only came with a 5-speed manual, so you can see why if you're buying an E36 M3 at any stage in time, you've got to have the Evolution. All right, so yeah, let's go for a little drive. Yeah, I noticed this little trim keeps falling off the door. Oh, maybe it won't click in properly. That's a bit better. Old cars, eh? So where do we start? It's all so nice in here. Digital climate control, trip computer at the bottom of there. All this was fancy stuff back in the day, you know. 6-speed manual, I mentioned that already. Fog lights front and rear. petrol. We've actually got some petrol. It's a rare thing for a car trader. Them mirrors are jokes how small they are. That is random, man. But they were, again, a massive feature. And I must admit, like, even up until today, the wing mirrors on BMW M cars have always looked so bloody good, haven't they? So, love that. Got a sunroof as well. Close that. Maybe leave it open a little bit so we get a bit of drama from the sound under the bonnet and from the exhaust. It's got that similar sort of raspy sound as well to the S54 E36 M3 engine, which is cool. And 321 brake horsepower was definitely a lot of power for a stock car back in these days. So this was obviously the follow-on car from the E30 M3, which was a beautiful thing. 4 wide arches, nice and chunky and wide, and they were just such good looking things. Didn't have a lot of power. Can't remember off the top of my head how much power they had, but I'll put it on the screen now. So when they replaced that car with this car in 1992, they done a better job under the bonnet, but they just didn't do quite as good a job of the body or the visuals. It looks good, don't get me wrong, it does look good, but it is the only M3 in time that doesn't have wide arches, and for that reason it was a bit of a letdown. But you know what, at the time when this car came out, it was the new M3 and everyone loved it. If you didn't have one, you wanted one. It was pretty much the go-to car for every petrol head on the road. So as much as I criticise that about it, everything else is wonderful. It's got a limited slip diff, the SMG gearbox. I can't say I've ever driven one with an SMG gearbox. That was the first version of it. It apparently wasn't that great. Definitely not as demanded on the car market. And the 6-speed manual Evolution was probably the one you wanted. I would say this variant is definitely the best example you could possibly buy. Now, because they didn't have wide arches, young travs that owned E36 BMWs could make BMW M3 replicas. Is that road still closed? It is, isn't it? It was very easy to make. In fact, they've made an access bit there. Not that you lot care about that, do you? But that does help me for my journey home. It was very easy to make an E36 M3 replica, because I know them young chavs that I was just talking about, I was one of them. When I was about 20 years old, I had a BMW 318 IS coupe. It had been painted a funny colour. I don't know what colour. It was like a Peugeot colour. I'm sure it was a Peugeot colour. Yeah, why would you paint? I don't know, but I loved the car, and yeah, I made it like a replica. I'll try and find a picture. I'm pretty sure I do not have a picture of it, but if I have, I'll put one on the screen. But all you had to do was replace the front bumper, put the rear diffuser on, change the mirrors. That was pretty much it. The Evolutions have got like the front lip splitter on the bottom of the front bumper there, but other than that, visually they didn't have much else going for them. On the interior, the E36 M3, sorry, the E36 M3 Evolution coupes had the Vader seats. The Saloons didn't come with the Vader seats. They've obviously just got these rather not so bad looking seats, but the Vaders were obviously they were a very special looking seat. I did like them a lot. Should we go right here? The problem is every time I go this way, it tends to get stuck behind a silly billy, but hopefully today we won't. So yeah, but all in all, very nice thing. I'm a bit unsure if this was the original steering. Look at that for power, man. The original steering wheel for this car is mint, so it does make me think that it probably was on the car for the whole duration of its life, but I'm sure that it should have had like the satellite style steering wheel. So if it's meant to have that, I think I will get one for it before I sell it. Oh, we've got a bit of wind noise there. And there's my M3. That's jokes. So that's the other M3 that came in with this car when I bought it, which has now got the original wheels on it by looks of things, because when it came in, I don't know if you saw the previous video, you would have noticed it had some different wheels, which are a great set of wheels, but they're not the original wheels, so I thought I'd put it back to stock and make it look like this. It looks much better. By chance, I actually had a set of them wheels in stock, the original E90 M3 wheels, so they went straight on, and it looks a million times better now because I just saw it there for the first time. So I can't remember what I was saying now. Gone completely off tracks. The 328 BMW was the car sort of down from this, the 328i M Sport, lovely thing. My brother Leon had one of them years ago. I think they had, don't quote me, about 190 brake horsepower. And bear in mind, that was a 2.8 and this was a 3.2. This had 321 horsepower, so the engine displacement was not really much bigger, but the amount of power this engine produced was absolutely crazy in comparison. So a lot of these reasons are the reasons why this was such a popular car. So my plans with this car are, obviously I bought it to sell it, yeah. It's got a LSD as well, a nice little feature on an old rear-wheel drive car. Thank you very much, Mr. Transit Van. Yeah, my plans with it is, I think I am not going to just stick it up for sale. I am going to hang on to it and put it through a classic car auction later on this year. I don't know what point in time or what point of the year that will happen, but I think this car needs to go to a proper classic car auction in front of there's the back end, in front of a proper audience of people that will cherish and value just how nice this car is. Putting it on eBay or whatever, I'm going to attract idiots. I can't be bothered with all of that. It needs to be put in front of the correct audience. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chill out, be patient, and if I do manage to find a decent auction to put it in, I will film the process, see what bids it gets, and let the auction dictate the value of the car. I think I'll make a cool video, but when that will be, like I say, I do not know. This video was just about doing the first drive in it, showing you around it, and just showing you like my feeling on this car, because listen to that engine, man. I was born in 1987. That makes me 33 years old, guys, for those that don't know my age. So this was like the M3 of my childhood, although the E30 kind of was. Yeah, this was more relevant to my childhood, and as I grew up, I always wanted one, and other than the replica, until later on down the line, I never actually had one. When I eventually got my E36 M3 Evo, I bought it. It was a shed. I paid about $3 grand for it. I bought it off an amazing couple up in Nottingham. Done it all up, made it look nice, and flogged it like I do with everything else that I own. So it is nice to get this in my life at the minute. It's nice that it's a saloon as well. The saloons, I don't think they sold as many of them. The coupes were probably the more popular one, but it's very, very nice to have a saloon in my life. The one thing that's wrong with it, about the only thing that's wrong with it in a minute, by the way, it's got a nice set of Michelin tyres. I'm sure you probably saw them earlier on in the video. It's been cherished, man. This car has been very well looked after, but it does definitely need a windscreen wiper, because through the front view camera you'll see that wiper, maybe it's just not fitted correctly. Yeah, Cal, you could have just, do you know what, let me just quickly sort that out. There we go. So it actually doesn't need anything, but it did need something when I first bought it, because I've had it a couple of days now. It had an issue starting and it needed a fuel pump. Very playful. Yeah, it needed a fuel pump. We've done that. It cost about 120 quid, I think. Oh, not quite enough power there to overwhelm the rear wheels, but more than enough to keep a massive smile on your face for the whole time that you're driving it. I love these old school cars. Couldn't daily drive one, but for something to have in the garage and get out every now and then, I think it's definitely a bit of a must when you get to that point in your life as a petrol head. So yeah, I'm going to end it as that. Thank you very, very much for watching. Hit like if you like this video. Spin it around here. Hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new to my channel for a new video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. Happy New Year as well, by the way, everyone. And give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I filmed a whole video talking to you lot about my thoughts on the C63 AMG.